Dance, a verb, to move one's feet or body or both rhythmically in a pattern of steps, especially to the accompaniment of music. Ever notice when you're watching world-class tennis players that a lot of times there's just this flow, this rhythm, it almost kind of looks like a dance? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you why that is. We're going to go through the 4 different phases of hitting a tennis shot so you can understand why some players look like they're dancing and other players look like they're just running around like chicken with their head cut off, just chasing after the ball. To begin, let's take a look at some quick rally footage of Novak Djokovic, and I'm going to take myself out of it. I just want you to watch and listen. Remember, with that definition of dance in your head, rhythmically and a pattern of steps. Ready? Just listen and watch this really quickly. Do you hear it? And do you see it? Do you see how Novak is moving in rhythm? And there's a flow, and there's kind of a cadence and a tempo that's happening shot by shot by shot. And it's not just the tempo or the cadence of how the ball is moving back and forth, but it's how his body is moving and responding. That's because he's moving through 4 different steps very smoothly, and for him, it's second nature. It's like breathing. He's not having to think about it anymore. But here's the 4 steps or phases that he's going through to make this rhythmic hitting and movement happen. He's moving through a sequence of balancing, then preparation, then the actual swing or the hitting of the ball, which is what most players kind of focus on, and then recovering. Beginner players and moving on into intermediate levels of play focus a lot on the swing. And maybe they start to focus on the preparation. That's like actually moving to the ball, getting the body ready, having the right space between yourself and the ball, and so on and so forth, so that it can help facilitate a comfortable swing. And that's all good. But many tennis players totally skip the balance part and the recover part, and that's why there's so much choppiness to how they move and hit. Let me show you a quick example. Here's some beginner point play, and I want you to focus on the player on the other side of the courts, over on the other side. So as he's getting ready for the first shot of the point, is there any balance? So remember, that's phase number 1, is balance. The player on the other side is static, stationary, and not doing anything to preload or pre-activate the body so that there's some kind of dynamic movement or flow to the movement or preparation. Remember, that's the next phase. Instead, he's just kind of hanging out. And that's what, in all honesty, just being totally transparent, that's what most tennis players do, is kind of hang out. Maybe they're in a ready position, but what they don't do is split step, an active preparation phase, actively igniting the body's systems and telling the body, I'm going to be ready right now, and pinpointing the most alert and prepared moment. And then after the ball is hit, then he goes into action. And so this is preparation. So of course he recognizes that, okay, I got to get myself prepared. I got to get myself balanced and in a good position to hit. So he understands that, recognizes that. And he also understands intuitively that he has to hit the ball. So remember, that's phase number 3, is hitting the ball over to the other side. What's phase 4? You remember? It's recovery. Does he recover? Recover means preset the position for the next shot before it gets hit. And you can see he's just standing and watching. While his opponent is running and doing his best to hit the shot, he's standing and watching. So if we go back to those 4 different kind of phases here, there's no balance phase, there's no recovery phase, there's just, see the ball, I got to get ready to hit it, aka preparation phase. I got to position myself to get in the right spot. And of course, there's a swing phase. But skipping balance and skipping recovery, there's not that same amount of rhythm and flow. It's no longer a dance. It's just a rinse repeat of run to the ball, hit the ball, run to the ball, hit the ball. Skipping the balance and skipping the recovery means it's just a sequence of scrambling around and then doing your best to hit the ball. Let's go back to that clip of Novak and just kind of break it down step by step so you can see exactly how he's utilizing the balance phase and the recovery phase effectively to make it more of a dance. Just for contrast, really quickly, watch and listen again. After watching the beginner players, that's how we all start off, is just kind of seeing the ball and just doing our best to hit it back. But now let's contrast that really quickly with a world class, one of the best tennis players of all time. Listen and watch. So let's go back to one of these shots and look in detail at what's happening. Let's take a look at this forehand right here. After the forehand is hit, Novak isn't just standing there and waiting and watching. Instead, he's recovering. That's even though this is a cooperative rally. This is just him and another probably world-class player just hitting down the middle of the courts. And even though they're not trying to beat each other, and even though they're not trying to win the point and hit to the open court, Novak still has a habit ingrained of, after I finish a swing, I'm going to move. So look at how he's moving his position after this shot towards the middle of where he's reading maybe the next shot's going to go. Now it's just a down the middle rally, so nothing super serious or intense here. But you can see how he has the instinct to just move someplace else to get ready for the next shot. So that's the recovery part of it. And after the recovery comes what? You go back to the beginning again. Remember, the beginning is balance. And balance at an elite world-class level means there has to be some preemptive loading or preparing of the body. And that's the split step right here. As his opponent, or in this case partner, is hitting the ball, he's lifting his feet off the court. Even though this is relatively low intensity, again, they're not trying to beat each other. Both his feet lift off the court. He's unweighting his legs and his feet, spreading his feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, so that when he's coming down again, he can read, is this going to be a backhand or is this going to be a forehand? And then he can flow seamlessly into preparation. So he reads that it's a forehand and he has momentum flowing already. He's not standing there statically watching for the next shot and then just starting from zero and chasing down the ball and running around. He's preemptively lifting and flowing, and then coming down from that lift, he's able to smoothly direct his momentum and his energy to the right or to the left. And that's why when I just play this and you just watch it in full time, in real time, there's a rhythm to it and there's a flow to it. And it never looks like he's static. It never looks like he's just standing there waiting for the ball. There's always something to do. He's always moving through one of those four phases that we're talking about. He's either balancing, and that doesn't mean static, that means actively balancing, aka the split step. It means he's either preparing, aka moving to the ball and positioning himself, spacing himself, or he's swinging, or immediately after the swing, he's recovering and getting himself in an ideal, optimized position for the next shot before the ball is hit. So without all four of these things, you can't move like a dancer on the courts. And I'm telling you right now, if you're watching me, you've probably been playing tennis for a while, and you probably assume, oh yeah, I'm doing the split step. You probably also assume, oh, of course, I know I'm supposed to recover. I'm recovering. And I tell you right now, most tennis players who think they're split stepping are not split stepping. And it's just the reality of it. I've been coaching for a long time, and I've been watching tennis players and helping them improve for a long time. Even the ones that know they're supposed to split step, most of them are not. So record yourself and see if you're actually using it. And on the recovery side of things, most tennis players assume that they're moving after their shot to the right spot. And again, in my experience, most players, they're doing movement, like they're doing something, most tennis players. If you're a beginner, maybe you're not doing anything after the shot. But even if you are doing something, a lot of tennis players are not moving to the right place. So I'll link to a video down below, a lesson that tells you exactly what that right place is. I'll also link to a lesson down below on how to split step and how to train it and practice it. So if you can add those two elements, you can start to become more of a dancer on the tennis court as well. Hopefully this was helpful. If so, do me a favor and click the like button. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.